guys, it's AJ. And so I wanted to quickly kind of break down our program almost from an umbrella point of view. So if we were to look at a 1,000 point view and look downwards, I want to kind of show you exactly how the program works. And this is actually what we cover on our Zoom. So it's a recording for anyone that's not able to attend live. And then obviously you could always reach out to me one-on-one. We kind of figure out what your capital raise goals are. But real quick, so this is the Business Accelerator program, and hopefully you're able to kind of see this behind my head or whatever. But our focus of which is three parts. I mean, we're going to assist you with your credit, your cash flow, and then even your collateral. And I'm going to show you real quick some of our success stories. I'm going to show you kind of how everything works. I'm going to break down the checklist almost in its entirety. And then I'm also going to show you kind of how the credit repair portion works, right? So real quick, our program was called the Total Credit Rebuild Program a couple months ago. And then we actually merged it with our more premium option. And that way clients don't have to sign two contracts in order to receive the same sort of service. So now we have our Business Accelerator program. And it's really designed to assist with anyone that is looking for at least $250,000 or so in funding, right? And it comes down to the 3 C's. And it's the same thing that I educate veterans as they transition over from active duty over into the civilian world is what do you need to get qualified for funding? What do you need to go launch your own business? There's a lot of resources out there from the SBA. We even have a course that's for free, and it's co-developed with the SBA and their material. But at the end of the day, basic accounting and management and financial education's okay, but we need to get qualified for funding, right? There's not enough courses that we can take where a bank is just going to say, oh, you took a course, now I'm going to give you $250,000 or more, right? It quite frankly doesn't work like that. You have to be fundable and you have to be qualified for funding. That's what our program is set up to do, and we even get started for free. So if we look at our credit repair results, right, I mean, it ranges anywhere between 40 to 240 points. We can go through multiple rounds. Obviously, lower the score, the higher your score increase is going to be. And so if you were to close your eyes and our average client has maybe about a 600 credit score, they have a startup business that's pre-revenue, and they normally don't have any collateral or they don't want to pledge their home or their car. And that's where our business comes into play, because if you look at the SBA or all these other lenders that are looking for, to offer lines of credit or loans or, SBA-like funding, you have to be qualified. So within our program, say if you had a 600 credit score, we're going to try to bring that up into the 700s, if not higher. And then once we get you into phase 2 in our program, we're going to assist you with your cash flow projections. That way you can overcome some of those issues where you don't qualify based off of how much you make. And then we would also identify the collateral that you would use, because the SBA wants collateral normally for the loans. Well, we can actually use our assets for your capital raise, and it's really exciting how we're going to do that. So real quick, if we're going to create a fundable business inside of phase 2, we're going to assist you with the cash flow, credit, and collateral. You'd actually fill out 2 jot forms. It's actually really easy. I'll be sending those to you, but you receive those as soon as you make a payment. And then you'll be received an onboarding information. I'll be carbon copied on it. Then we'll form that new business with the Secretary of State. And that's important, right? Because we need a new business to get access to some, or at least get geographic access to some funding options that we have in the Northeast Texas region, of course. And then we want to open up a business bank account, set up those business credit profiles, and then we'll start adding trade lines. And this is really exciting. A lot of clients come to us and they say, hey, AJ, I want a box truck, I want a cyber truck, I want Section 8 properties, they want to be a landlord, or they even want a penthouse and they want to use it for event space. Some are even looking for working capital, and the working capital could be lines of credit, loans, that sort of thing. Or they're looking for SBA funding where it has low interest, longer payback terms that they normally don't see since the Paycheck Protection Program or something like that. Well, we're going to add trade lines. So if you need a business vehicle, you don't have a business vehicle already, we're going to assist you with that. We're going to assist you in opening up some business credit cards or mortgages, and those are great for the credit. And I think most clients of ours are really interested in getting into Section 8 because it's a very secure industry to be in. It's very easy. Identify the property. We have lenders that provide 100% financing, and we'll even cover the rehab costs, and some will even cover the first 12 months of the principal payments for those Section 8 and long-term rental properties, which is great. But towards the end, we're going to assist you with your financials, right? Your balance sheet, your cash flow statement, your income statement. And then once you are qualified, you'll have results like this. And this is just some results. 600,000 from the SBA, 100,000, 85,000, 75,000. But as you can imagine, if you're qualified for funding, you would be able to get access to these types of solutions, right? I mean, if you have collateral, cash flow, and great credit, I mean, the world's kind of your oyster, right? So if you're a small business owner, an entrepreneur, you've probably been declined for funding in the past, maybe you don't know where to access it, or need help in accessing larger amounts of funding, anywhere between 50,000 to 50 million, I think we're your guys. The largest capital raise we've assisted with was 50 million for that hospital system right outside of Dallas. 30 million of which was for real estate, 10 million was to open up a new service line, and 10 million was actually expand their emergency department. And it's great. So we do a lot of things within the community, of course. And so will you, right? Because you'll open up that new business, and hopefully you'll be helping out your local community. And so if we look at cost structure, or the cost structure of our program, I have another YouTube video that kind of goes into it, but I always get a lot of questions about it. Our clients will ask, well, how much does this cost? How much does it cost for this program, with everything that it entails? And so we used to charge $5,000 up front for our program. And the $5,000 would cover everything in the program. And we had a lot of clients that were successful, but they wished that they would be able to spend, less up front for the program and more in the back end. And so we don't agree with a percentage performance fee on the back end, because my group does not do that. But of course, what our focus is whenever we are going after funding and a client is looking to get qualified, there are some hard costs. Like we need to form the new business, we need to get a unique commercial address to get geographic access to some of our funding sources. We need to be able to provide, because I have about 5 employees that work with me. We need to provide daily and weekly calls for consulting and advice as we walk through this process. And the same thing with accessing these trade lines. We need to do daily and weekly calls for that. But our hard costs, what actually puts us in the negative, we charge $500 for a client, and that covers their ticket to go into phase 2. So phase 1's free, the credit repair and everything's like that. Well, we just covered going and forming the new business, whatever the cost for entry, to filter out serious versus non-serious clients is $500, and then $4,500 comes from the funding that's offered. And I have a lot of clients that agree with it. They say awesome, and I have some clients that say, hey, AJ, I really can't afford the $500. Can we charge twice as much on the back end? And I'll tell you what. If you don't have the $500, what you should do is be a referral partner with us. We have a very generous compensation structure where we'll pay you 50% of whatever we earn. And that way, just one enrollment or one referral would cover the cost of the program. And so let's kind of talk about what does it take to get fundable, and that way we'll kind of break this in, go into the checklist, and I'll kind of talk about the credit repair real quick. But what does it take to get fundable? So our first step is to work on your credit, obviously. Not all funding sources care about what your personal credit score is. Normally we need at least a 450 or above to get some extensions of credit. But if you're under a 450, I would definitely work on that for free, following our checklist. And then once you're able to enroll, we're going to apply for funding. We're going to send out dispute letters once you finish everything in phase 1. And we can work on this simultaneously, of course. You don't have to wait for phase 1 to go into phase 2. And then we'll form a new business and access different funding products. So once we have the new business form, we're going to apply for funding by utilizing the business credit profile. At Startup Lines of Credit, Startup Loans, that's a great source of funding. And then with your project manager that you'll be assigned to, you'll be tasked with them to create the balance sheet, the cash flow statement, the income statement, identify the collateral that you're wanting to use or pledge for the loan, and then go ahead and apply. And so if we have the checklist here, and of course this checklist could always change, but the first step is go ahead and enroll. So you need to enroll on our website, or if you have the Jot form, go ahead and enroll. You should be able to sign up for a Zoom that's similar to this presentation, and that way we can answer any questions you might have. Review the onboarding email, which are sent over to the client as soon as they enroll. Sign up for Smart Credit for credit monitoring. That's important because we can actually provide those Smart Credit tri-merge reports over to the lender so they don't have to pull your credit. Then you'll be able to call or text me directly at this number for onboarding. You'll be able to sign up for the Opportunity Fund. That way we can achieve daily deposits at least $1,000. And then of course you can file those disputes and complaints online with the credit bureau. So we have another Zoom and some videos that kind of go into this, of course. I'm not going to touch on it here. But what's important is you follow these steps, you sign up for Smart Credit, you can actually build out Metro 2 dispute letters for free for the first week using this credit fixer link. And then there is an onboarding that we do about twice a week. So it's important that you sign up for that. And then once done, you'll send me an email here. And that way I know, hey, you've completed all the steps. We can work on getting those Metro 2 letters out. Good to go. This is our funding course that we co-created with the SBA. I think this is important, especially if we have new entrepreneurs, new small business owners that don't understand planning, credit, financial management, or banking and money. This is important, especially as we apply for SBA funding or SBA-like funding. And then phase 2, we kind of already covered this, the 2 Jot forms, but you can definitely take a look at it. We've already kind of covered our funding process. And then obviously the Opportunity Fund, you can sign up for that as well. So what's the takeaway from all of this? Well, our focus is to help you get qualified for funding. And the qualifications are simple. We need to have credit, cash flow, and collateral. There isn't like a magic ball or a wand that we can wave or an uncle in a third world country that we can go access, a loan from. We get truly qualified. This program isn't set for everyone because we're looking for serious business owners that are looking for serious funding. We're able to enroll a client for free. Most of my competitors charge anywhere between $3,000 and $10,000 upfront for their program. They provide a similar service to this, or at least they try to replicate this. And then they normally charge a percentage performance fee in the back end. And the percentage performance fee can range anywhere between 10 to 25%. If you don't believe me, I encourage you, I have a YouTube video. Go ahead and schedule a call with one of my competitors and ask what their price structure is. They'll probably be hesitant to answer. They'll probably wait for you to do the entire sales pitch. And then they'll probably say, hey, we're gonna charge you $3,000 to $10,000, maybe $1,000. But those that provide good servicing, most of them are kind of novices. They have been in the industry for as long as we have. And they also charge quite an arm and a leg for the same sort of funding solution. So with that being said, of course, consider working with us and moving forward into phase 2, because if you receive an email or some sort of confirmation, or you even hear from me, and I'm telling you, hey, we can move forward with phase 2, it's because I've looked at your data set, I feel confident in what you're trying to offer. We'll talk one-on-one, kind of talk about the specific industry you're trying to go into, if it's Section 8, or you're trying to get a box truck, or a cyber truck, or an 18-wheeler, or whatever it is. I'm sure we could fulfill it. And then once done, our focus is to get you in the phase 2, fill out those 2 Jot forms, and apply for funding. That way we can cover the cost of our program because we're getting financing for it, of course. And then we'll move forward with our capital raise, form the new business, and do everything else. Well, if you have any questions, obviously you should know how to reach me. I did provide some information inside this video, which I think is important. And then go ahead, if you haven't done so already, join a live Zoom with us. We're going to try to have several of them per day. And that way we can answer questions mainly about these topics, because we kind of break down everything in this program here. These are the emails that you would be receiving, of course, and that way we can get you properly onboarded. And we do have a video that goes over the credit repair, of course, so you can take a look at that if you want. But what we need you to do is get into the program, talk to me, of course, let's get you into phase 2, and let's start the capital raise, because there's no point of delaying the inevitable. And yeah, I think it'd be a great time. But give me a call, give me a text. You guys know how to reach me.